Evening. Welcome to Flat Earth School, the school that is around us 24/7 since the beginning of existence. I'm Mitchell from Australia, just a student like the rest of you in this beautiful Flat Earth School around us that teaches us everything we need to know. If only we would just look and listen. Hope everyone is happy and healthy today. Jess Palmer in the chat, how are you? What's up? Great reference to Scary Movie. Hilarious. Love those movies. She says, love the work, keep spreading the truth. I will do, Jess. Got nothing else to do at the moment. Shields vs. Shields says, is Mr. Sensible's calling me a liar? Is that slander? I'll talk about that a bit later. What's it say? Shields vs. Shields says, Mr. Sensible has been caught lying so many times. Also, Shields vs. Shields has a video of a creepy message Mr. Sensible left. And he was making weird, dirty old man grunts towards Conspiracy Cat's daughter video. Oh my god. Wow, okay. That's a bit heavy to deal with. The beginning of a morning. Thanks, Shields vs. Shields. Kleb Ruckus says, too much love for balls isn't healthy. No, definitely not. Too much love for balls and phallic objects definitely is not healthy. Bree says good morning to Mitch and everyone. Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are now. Flat, motionless, enclosed plane. It is another beautiful morning here on Flat Earth School. The tide is quite low here. I can already hear the trolls, and there is no lack of them, saying, how do we have tides, Mitch? Well, it's certainly not from gravity, from what you say is a physical object in the sky, mass attracting mass. No, that is 106, almost 107 years out of date. Globe believers, mass attracting mass. No, that was the old Newtonian gravity. I would ask anyone to define gravity at the moment. Does anyone know what gravity actually is? What is the new hotness of gravity? Yeah, and just going back on that, on the troll situation. If anyone has looked at my comment section at the moment on the last few videos, you would see it is a seething cesspool full of bloody the most disgusting people we'd ever find. It's been really enlightening for me, especially when they are coming at me so hard. And it's all over one subject, which I'm going to go over today. Out of all the things I've been putting out over the past couple of years, over the past, especially the past few weeks when I've been doing Flat Earth School, I haven't got a response. I haven't got like this. I haven't got the fundies triggered like this. Those zealots that watch the channels that try to debunk me. Yeah, they go and watch those those zealots. They plead, please, can you please give us something against Mitchell from Australia? And the fundies like to pick apart my videos, and I've never got a response like this. So it's all to do with that Polaris photo. I'll get it up. Hey, Katrina Neskovich. The truth is actually, yes, definitely among us from Serbia. How are you? Gabriel Padilla. Gravity is absence of an R value. Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by. Okay, I'll address the R value with gravity. So if you are citing mass attracting mass, you've got the center of mass 1 and the center of mass 2 over distance squared, whatever the formula is, it does not matter. It is simple poetry. Maths is conceptual, is poetry is just another language. Does not matter what it is. But if you are using the center of a mass that is presupposed to be a globe, you absolutely need R. Definitely need the R value. So this photo here, this is what I was showing. Yeah, Gary Feltman says, not that R again. Yep, it is devastating when we point out that there is no R value. All right, so a couple of days ago, I put out a video titled Polaris Proves Flat Earth. And I put out this image and I mistakenly said this is Polaris. And I'm man enough to admit that. I'm truthful enough to admit this is not Polaris. I was going simply off the description here. It did mention the North Star. And some people from other channels, like Blue Marble Science, like Mr. Sensible, there's a few other channels, Where's Wally? They jumped on this straight away. And they freaked out. They absolutely flipped out. They made little models about it. They said, no, this is observation from the north looking at south. And it turns out, yeah, that is the case. So at the time, I thought that was Polaris. And that was my honest mistake. Definitely not Polaris. And that has been the center of all the controversy on my channel at the moment. Everyone's saying, Mitchell, you can't even get your directions right. Mitchell, this is devastating for you. Mitchell, delete your channel. This is not devastating for me at all. Yeah, I was wrong, and I can admit I was wrong. I'll eat a big piece of humble pie. But I'll serve a bit up for you globers too. There's plenty to go around. Don't you worry. Because just because this is not Polaris doesn't mean this is not devastating to your globe. So in fact, this is the southern star rotation in the sky that we see. Definitely not a pole. Definitely not antipodal to that Polaris rotation. So this was taken from Indonesia, which they confirmed. 8 degrees south latitude. So how many degrees is it to something like Sigma Octantis? Yeah, the closest star to the center of there, there's actually a black patch of sky there that everything appears to be rotating around. There's not actually a star. But Sigma Octantis is the closest naked eye star that we can use. So how many degrees are we going to measure from this location, 8 degrees south latitude, to Sigma Octantis? Can you see where I'm going with this, fundies? Can you see why this is going to be so devastating? Let's go through it. So if I'm 8 degrees south latitude, it's going to be about an 82 degree difference to Sigma Octantis, yeah, from the 90 degree angle. So if you were standing directly under Sigma Octantis, it'll be 90 degrees. And if you are 8 degrees south latitude, that means you're about 82 degrees away from Sigma Octantis. And what have we been going on about for the past few weeks? The 69 miles per 1 degree movement from the GP of a star. So what does that put Sigma Octantis in miles away? Let's go through it. So the location of this image is 8 degrees south latitude. Sorry. Longitude? Latitude. Doesn't really matter. They're both arbitrary. 8 degrees south of the equator. You're seeing this image about 8 degrees elevation. So 69 miles for each 1 degree from the 90 degree point, yeah, the GP. So it's about 82 degrees to Sigma Octantis, which is the closest naked eye star in the sky around the southern rotation point. So what does that put that at? 82 degrees times 69 equals 5,658 miles to the GP of Sigma Octatus. And that creates an area of equal altitude using the sextant. You guys can't get away from the fact that you need a flat plane to measure angles to stars. This line right here, this one going from the observer to the GP of that star, has to be absolutely flat. You guys have a major problem. You guys being the globers, anti-flat earthers, the people who think the earth is not flat. You want to go against the flat earth arguments. You want to try and say that we're living on a globe. That distance there is 100% flat. It has to be in order to get a measurement to a star. 5,658 miles. Now, yeah, that's a pretty large distance, isn't it? But let's put it into perspective. So what is the radius of your presupposed spherical Earth? 59 miles. And what is the distance, the radius of the area of equal altitude that we've just measured? Yeah, 69 miles per 1 degree, as you guys like to say. Yeah, the radius of that area of equal altitude, absolutely flat, is 5,658 miles. How does that fit on a globe with a radius of 59 miles? It does not work on a globe. You've got an area that is larger than the radius of that of which you presuppose you are on. That radius of area equal altitude does not fit on your globe. It is absolutely impossible. Do you get it now, ballers? Are you going to pull me up on this? Because at the moment, no one's pulling me up on this. They're all saying, this photo, Mitchell, what are you doing? This is not Polaris. Yeah? I do direction. I'm 180 degrees wrong. Well, how wrong are you guys when we calculate how far away the center of that photo is the Sigma Octatus? Yeah, or the closest naked eye star to the center of that rotational point. How far away is that? 82 degrees times 69 miles, 5,658. How does that fit on a globe of radius 59 miles? It does not. This is so devastating for the globe. Yeah, suck it in, princess. Suck it up, fundies. Has Blue Marble Science absolutely debunked anything other than proven that I made a mistake, which I just admitted? Yeah, I made a mistake. This photo is not of Polaris. We're not seeing Polaris there. We're seeing Sigma Octatus, the southern rotational point in the sky. Definitely not an axis. Axes have never been proven. I challenge anyone to find a natural axis. It is not possible. There is nothing naturally occurring that has an axis point. And how does that area of equal altitude, 5,658 miles, which you use for celestial navigation, how does that fit on your globe with a radius of 3959 miles? Yeah, you're going to need half of that in the first place, aren't you, fundies? Whew. Let's keep going. So what is the area in square miles that is absolutely flat? 101 million square miles, absolutely flat area of equal altitude. And what's the circumference of that area of equal altitude here? 35,550 miles. What is the circumference of your globe again? About 24,000. 20. It doesn't matter. It's definitely not 30. I'll get the image. Thought I have it saved here. But you can see the major problems that the globe has. You can see how devastating this is. So the circumference of your globe is 24,900 miles. So how does an area of equal altitude, just add that to this playlist. It's really handy having an iPad because I can do little albums when I'm putting all this stuff together. So how does this area of equal altitude where we've just measured from Sigma Octantis, 5,658 mile radius of the area of equal altitude, absolutely flat. Yeah. How does 35,550 mile circumference fit onto something that's only 24,900? It's got a circumference of much larger, 11,000 square miles, 11,000 miles. Longer circumference than your globe Earth. Whew. Sorry, Globers. There'll be no deleting my channel. Oh yeah, I admitted that photo that I was saying was Polaris isn't Polaris. And that's fine. I'll admit that it's not Polaris. Whoop. But it's still so devastating to the globe model. And where I was going with that is yesterday's show was going to be about Never Have I Ever, that drinking game. I don't drink personally, so I wouldn't be partaking in this game anyway. But if the Globers had a drink and I asked questions about Never Have I Ever, which I renamed Never Has a Glober Ever, they would be just as sober as me standing here. These are going to be I'm going to go through the presentation because these are very sobering things. So I'll start off with Never Has a Glober Ever admitted that they're wrong. Yeah? Has anyone got any evidence of a Glober admitting that they are wrong? That they made a mistake? Like I have just admitted? Being a real man, when you make a mistake, you be humble about it. Being a real truther, you don't want to deceive people. I never intentionally deceive anyone. All the information that I'm putting out, I believe to be true at the time. A lot of it does not require belief. Like the use of a sextant, it only works on a flat Earth. So let's play the game, Globers. Have you got a nice stiff drink ready? Mr. Sensible's got raided his wife's liqueur cupboard, got his Baileys out, his little girly drink. Blue Marble Science, he's probably got his moonshine out. Seems like a bit of a moonshine kind of guy. Yeah, you guys going to take a drink? Never Has a Glober Ever admitted that they're wrong. Take a drink, guys, if you have admitted that you're wrong. If you're going to be humble and say, yeah, maybe I was wrong about something to do with the globe or flat Earth. No drinks taken. Sobering moment. Yeah, guys. Who are the real liars here? I'll just go through the chat. Gary Feltman, how are you, mate? Explain how. Howdy, all. Andrew Calvert. Good to see you here, mate. Restoring Reality. Just to piss them off, shut off comments section in your videos once posted and let them fume. They'll absolutely lose it. And I just wanted to show how triggered they all were the last couple of days about the photo that I have just admitted that, yeah, it's not Polaris. I just admitted that. I can be humble, eat the humble pie. Not Polaris, but it's not devastating to the flat Earth. I made a mistake. When has a Glober ever admitted that they made a mistake? When has a flat earther ever said, yeah, I might have got something wrong? No, they just keep going and going and going. They just snowball, don't they? I'm definitely man enough to admit when I've made a mistake. To Globers? No, Globers. Didn't take a drink for that one, did you guys? All right, so let's continue the game. Never has a Glober ever. Never has a Glober ever. You got your drink ready, Globe believers? Never has a Glober ever proven gravity. Ooh, is it another one? Another devastating one for the globe. Never has a globe ever proven gravity. No drinks taken. Another sobering moment for you guys. It's not a fun game when when you can't do the drinking part, is it? I personally don't drink. It is poison. I definitely don't poison my body. Hence why I'm not working at the moment. And I just want to put out to everyone, I am on ROKFIN now. I put a promo video out yesterday, and the first video I've posted on ROKFIN is a video that was deleted by YouTube. It's titled How to Legally Refuse the Vaccine from Your Employer. That was not allowed on YouTube. It got me a strike warning saying I violated the community guidelines. So I was going against the HOW's health advice on the current pandemic. Did I misspeak then? No. So go over to ROKFIN. People are asking, how can they support me without having to donate to Patreon, donate to YouTube? Go over to ROKFIN. It not only when you subscribe to ROKFIN do you get my content that I'm going to be putting out. I'm going to be putting out all the flat earth school videos on ROKFIN. Also, I'm going to be putting out all the videos that YouTube does not allow. Everything that relates to our current situation, everything that can help people that YouTube will not allow me to show you guys. That is the first video. So check that out. If your employer requires you to have a vaccine and you don't want to, and you have every right to refuse, how to legally do it. Keep your job, legally refuse. It's difficult for me because it wasn't my employer requiring me to do these things, to put a mask on or to get vaccines. It was the job sites that my employer wanted me to go to. So I was being denied entry to those job sites, to construction sites, that there's absolutely no laws backing it, but each and every business, if you will. Construction sites definitely part of a business setting. They all have their own policies. And if their policy states that we will not allow entry to anyone who doesn't have a mask on or doesn't have a vaccine, you don't have any legal rights to. You have the right to not enter that premise. No one's forcing you to enter, but unless you adhere to their policies, you can't enter. And that's that. Support me, other than Patron. Thank you for being a patron, and you know who you are. I'm about to shout you guys out. It's an interesting bird call. All right, so I've got Mokai Bohapu, and he is a Globe Believer. That's fine. Globe Believers can support me, and he's my largest patron at the moment. Very, very cool. And he's going to be putting out a response to David Weiss's 3 Bitcoin challenge. Definitely looking forward to that. Thank you, Mokai Bohapu. Emmanuel Cadusi, Ryan Williams, David Weiss, Victor Garcia, Dale Bourne, John Furr, Dusty Ryder, Gobbledy T, Tristan Trickers, Will Brax, Ronald Jurek, BMLSB69, John Swartz, Brian Leakey, Alec One Show, Malcolm Foster, Angie S, Dawn Judds, and Paul on the Plane. You 21 patrons are awesome. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, more fun for DRTRH, isn't it? Good fun. And I've offered that patron, I've offered my platform to present his globe proof. So stay tuned for that. Be good fun. All right, so let's go back to never has a globe ever proven gravity. Let's hear from a couple of people in that scene. Brian Cox.
From the University of
not
Caltech.
yet. Oh, let's just see what gravity actually is at the moment. It's definitely not mass attracting mass.
Einstein came up with the theory of general relativity, 1915, the prototype of all modern gravitational theories. Its crucial ingredient involving a colossal intellectual jump is the concept of gravitation. not as a force, but as a manifestation of the curvature of space-time.
The reason the bowling ball and the feather fall together is because they're not falling. They're standing still. There is no force acting on them at all.
Brian Cox, there is no force acting on them at all.
Gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force. Maybe that's... Now, literally, it's not a force.
George Musa, 2019. It is literally not a force. From Wikipedia, gravity is most accurately described by general theory of relativity, which describes gravity not as a force. From Universe Today, in general relativity, gravity is not a force. From physics.org, according to this theory, gravity is not a force. From Physics Info, from the Physics Hypertext book, gravity isn't
a force. So there you go, globe believers. Have you ever proven that gravity is a force, that it actually does something? No, you put it through the scientific method. Has it ever been done? No. Sometimes people think it's a cause. Other times people think it's an effect. It can't be both. Has not been put through the scientific method. Cannot be scienced. For it to be an effect, you have to observe it. Has anyone observed gravity? No. For it to be a cause of something, it has to be manipulated, and it has to be actually real. That is the criteria for something to be a cause. It has to be manipulated by the researcher. How are you going to manipulate something that doesn't exist, that hasn't been proven to exist, that hasn't been observed in the first instance? You can see the sun just peeping up around there. The chat's a bit in the way. Sun is just peeping up there. And that is a physical blockage there. That is a bit of land. I'm inside a bay today. That is a physical blockage blocking the sun. Not like the horizon, who we're told now by the globe believers isn't even a physical blockage anymore. It's apparent horizon. And we'll get to that. Don't you worry. We will get to that, globe believers. Someone said, let's go, Brandon. Yeah, hey Brandon, how are you? Head over to Brandon's channel. Very good channel. Alright, so where are we going from here? Okay. Never has a globe ever proven gravity. No drinks taken there. If you have taken a drink, you're absolutely kidding yourself. The shower's gravity. Alright. Yeah, Service D says General R is bollocks. General relativity is absolute bollocks. Just another bit of poetry. Alright. What next? Never has a globe ever shown gas pressure to exist without a container. And this is pointed straight at you, Blue Marble Science. The anti-flat earther Blue Marble Science, who was given the challenge, show us gas pressure without a container. And what did he do? He used 2 containers to demonstrate that we have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent to a container. Why did you do that for, Blue Marble Science? Why did you use 2 containers when we specifically said, can you have gas pressure without the container? And not to mention that you're starting that example in the largest container of this world. We are absolutely contained. If we were not contained, then you would not have gas pressure. If that is the necessary antecedent. The order of having gas pressure goes exclusively like this. First, in the first instance, you need a container. And then you can have gas pressure. In every instance of gas pressure existing, there is a container. It is being contained. If we had an infinite vacuum of space next to this gas pressure that we're breathing, it would absolutely expand in all directions. It would expand into space. Isn't it funny how they call it space? The space that has been given for that volume of the gas to expand into, why is it not expanding into? It's not gravity, because gravity is not a force, is it, globe believers? Got that out of the way really quick. Gravity's not a force. Definitely doesn't do anything to gas pressure. Find me a natural law of gas pressure that has anything to do with gravity in it. You will not find it. And natural laws are natural laws because they happen. Good morning, how are you? Yeah, I know. Just saw the sun coming up a little bit. Yeah, it was beautiful. I was at Kaima yesterday. It was, yeah, absolutely stunning. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it was beautiful, wasn't it? Yeah, like a big kind of ocean in the sky.
Yeah. Now, if I come back, the club is attacked.
Oh, right. Is there a nest around there, is it?
Well, there's been one on this beach, so that's why when I saw you, I thought, oh, I'm going to walk the beach. Because every time I come down, they just swoop me.
Yeah, I've heard them going off. Yeah, yeah.
And then there was another one around the corner yesterday morning, and there's been one further up the beach. I think they moved location, so you don't know where they're going to be. You just suddenly walk along and this bird comes in.
That time of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck.
And then it'll be the magpie.
Yeah. Just talking to a lovely lady going for a walk. Getting swooped by plovers, unfortunately. Yeah, not a nice time of the year to be going walking near nests. Haven't been swooped yet. Fingers crossed they won't get me on the way back. So gas pressure without a container. Liz the Iron Maiden has sent me £1.99. Thank you, Liz the Iron Maiden. Sends me a sticker, says cool. Very cool. Thank you, Liz the Iron Maiden. You are awesome. All right, so gas pressure without a container. Blue Marble Science was attempting to show us gas pressure without a container, but he wanted to bring 2 containers to the party. Yeah, that butane. Need a container for that butane, Blue Marble Science. How about the pipe you put it in? Yep, also a container. What an idiot. So, gas pressure without a container. Now that we know. Take a drink. Globe believers, if you have ever shown gas pressure to exist without the necessary antecedent of a container, nope, not possible. Let's look a little video on it.
Gravity to hold down those air molecules. How is it that gas pressure, those air molecules, do not disperse randomly in all directions into the vacuum of space? You ask, which natural laws does this violate? As described by NASA, the entropy of gas, or the second law of thermodynamics, is being violated here. Also, ideal gas law, PV equals T. And I'd also like to point out to you that V is a volume. To have gas pressure, it is a necessary antecedent to have a container, which is defined as the volume. No container, no gas pressure. That would also violate the natural law.
So you see, Globers, you can never show us gas pressure existing without a container. It is just the necessary antecedent that you need, that anyone needs to have gas pressure in the first instance. If you think you are showing us that, it is violating a natural law. What are natural laws? They are things that occur always and never not occur. If the natural law was broken, was found to be broken, it would not be a natural law anymore. So that's what you are doing at Glober. If you think you are proving gas pressure without a container, you're violating natural laws that are observed always and never not observed. Yeah, Andrew Calvert, endless heliocentric BS. Liz the Iron Maiden said, good to hear my classic speak pipe again. There might be a new Flat Earth podcast out. I'm going to have to look that up. But if there is, please go to your favourite podcast platform. Look up the Flat Earth podcast with David Weiss and Matt Long. It sounds like there may be another Flat Earth podcast episode out. It has been a while between drinks for them. Awesome podcast. Yes, I regularly make a feature on there if you want to go and check it out. My origin story. Anyway, let's continue. So never has it Glober ever shown gas pressure to exist without a container. Are you going to take a swig of your moonshine there, Blue Marble Science? A big dishonest swig if you are. No, it's a very sobering moment. Just another one. Another sobering moment for globe believers. You have never proven gas pressure without a container. And that absolutely debunks the notion that there is space, that we have space, that area above our heads, an air, what you claim to be a sky vacuum, a space for the volume of this gas that we're breathing to expand into. We know that gravity is not a force. It's definitely not forcing the gas pressure down. Why do we have gas pressure? Because we are contained. It is just a fact about our world. Okay, next. Never has a glober ever seen the curvature of Earth. This is one of my favorite ones because this... Let's start with the black swan, shall we? All right, for those who haven't seen the black swan, this is my video of explaining what the black swan is, of BMLSB69. Subscribe to him, BMLSB69. He took the video of the original black swan, and let's just go through it.
And this is the #1 globe killer. Hopefully by now, all of you have seen this video by BMLSB69. His observer height is only 1 foot. Now that first platform is 6.2 miles away, and platform habitat is 9.4 miles away, with the horizon far in the distance beyond that. Now I'm going to let you just sit there and take this in, because this is the absolute #1 globe killer. Modus tollens states, if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. If P, we live on a globe of radius 3959 miles, then Q, every horizon distance measurement cannot be more than 1.23 miles times the square root of the observer height in feet. Not Q, the geometric horizon is far greater than 2.73 miles for 5 foot. Therefore, not P. The Earth is not a globe. But this valid logical conclusion is hand-waved by the globe zealots as word salad, so I'll put this devastating picture in simpler terms. Globe believers must have a physical leading edge, the geographical edge to their sphere, in order for boats to go over it and for land and water to curve around it. It's a fundamental pillar to their religion. If the globe they presuppose has a radius of 3959 miles, then the horizon distance is set by the height of the observer. So what makes this image so devastating is the height of the observer at only 1 foot. The horizon should be 1.22 miles. But even if we set it at 5 feet, the horizon should be 2.73 miles. But we can see the bottom of platform habitat where it meets the water 9.41 miles away, and the horizon above that beyond in the distance, making it fundamentally impossible to see this from 1 foot on a globe. The globe
does not exist. And we all know the infamous quote from the biggest liar, crook, cheat, renegger that still owes me £100. What happened after Mr. Sensible was shown that logical consistency of the black swan? What was his response to the black swan?
At best, you would have disproved the radius of the Earth.
At best, you would have disproved the radius of the Earth, and you all know very well how important the radius of the Earth actually is. So let's continue with curvature of the Earth. Never has a glober ever seen the curvature of the Earth. And this is what, and obviously the black swan has just debunked the radius of the Earth. So maybe it could be a bigger radius. Maybe we're still on a globe, but it just could be a bigger radius, a bigger globe, maybe. Well, if you are looking at, I'll just get the black swan image. This is the black swan image. 1 foot observer height, 10 mile distance to the horizon. What does that work out to be geometrically if you are a 1 foot observer, seeing the horizon from 10 miles from a 1 foot observer height? That turns out to be, if it is a geometric horizon that you're looking at off in the distance, your new radius is 264,000 miles. That is the radius. How far away is the moon in your heliocentric model? About 230,000 miles. So the moon's now 34,000 miles inside the Earth? No, globe believers. That's why this is so devastating. You don't have a bigger radius. You don't have a bigger globe. It is absolutely devastating, this black swan image. And just to ram it home, if people don't want to, if people just close their eyes, block their ears to the black swan, let's go through something else. This is Felix Baumgartner. Yeah, he did that high altitude, really high altitude jump from the Red Bull capsule. And is that the curvature of the Earth? There, is it? Globe believers? Where to go here? Why did that fisheye lens show us such curvature and there are other cameras on board that's showing us no curvature? And this is a pretty similar height. I think this was a couple, maybe 38 kilometers up. And what else happened around that height? This is around 38 kilometers. Oh, Mr. Sensible's Madge. Mission above globe Earth. Mission above the begging the question fallacy Earth. And he thinks he's seen curvature. This is 38 kilometers up. Almost 39. We'll say 39. There's a little thing there. Meters, 38,700. Yeah, Mr. Sensible is claiming this to be Earth curvature. So what has Neil deGrasse Tyson said about Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic space tourism flight? 86 kilometers high. Yeah. So Mr. Sensible has claimed this is Earth curve from 39 kilometers high. What does Neil deGrasse Tyson say?
I see it not as, oh, we're going into space. No, you're getting a nice view of the Earth. And I don't even know if you're going to see the curvature. I did some calculations, and I'm thinking they're not. If you're 2 millimeters above the surface of this.
Should we hear that again, globe believers? For those in the back, this is talking about Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic space tourism, 86 kilometers above the Earth. Are we going to see curvature?
I see it not as, oh, we're going into space. No, you're getting a nice view of the Earth. And I don't even know if you're going to see the curvature. I did some calculations, and I'm thinking they're not.
So if we can't see the curvature of the Earth from 86 kilometers up, how are we going to see the curvature of the Earth from here, Mr. Sensible? It does not work. And also, if this is the highest any civilian is going to get the opportunity to go, 86 kilometers up, about 50-something miles. 86 kilometers is the highest that any of us normal people, if we have the money, obviously, we can go on these trips. But that is the highest that anyone is ever going to go. So if we are not going to see the curvature from that height, then no one is ever going to see any curvature of the Earth as admitted by Neil deGrasse Tyson, your high priest, globe believers. No one. It is never going to be observed ever. If you're not going to observe it from, that is the highest point you can ever possibly attain, 86 kilometers from this space tourism. And Neil deGrasse Tyson just said, you will not see the curvature of the Earth. Yeah, pretty devastating, globers. So I say again, never has a glober ever seen the curvature of the Earth. Another sobering moment for the globe. No one's taken a drink yet. Very, very awkward situation to be in if you're a glober. All right, never has a glober ever given us the radius to their Earth. Yeah, so, and this goes hand in hand with never has a globe ever given us a proof of the globe without begging the question, because you are absolutely begging the question if you have not proven that you're on a globe in the first instance. And to prove that you're on a globe in the first instance, you need a radius value. That thing from the center of your presupposed spherical Earth to the edge, you need a radius value. You do not have a radius value anymore. But what about Al-Biruni? Let's look at how Al-Biruni measured, or started even before he got up to the mountain. So Al-Biruni is claimed to have measured the radius of the Earth. He went up a mountain. He took a measurement from a bit of a dip angle and presupposed that he was on a spherical Earth. How did he get the height to that mountain in the first place? This explains it nicely. Al-Biruni's clever strategy was to measure the elevation angles between A and B at 2 points, yeah? So obviously, you've got a straight line here. That is the first big glaring red flag. So he has to treat everything that he's seeing, the baseline to his angles, he has to treat everything as flat. Can you see any curvature there? This is on the ground. So this is the height of the mountain that he's trying to calculate. This is our Earth that he is on. So at point A, he measures an angle to the top of the mountain. He goes back a distance to point B, measures an angle to the mountain. And it says right here, since A and B were both on level ground, the distance between them, D, could be measured with good accuracy. So you first have to assume that you're on a level plane to get angles to something like a mountain. And then he goes up the mountain and then goes into the paradigm that he's on a globe? No, it does not work. It's showing right here, Globers. The radius value has never been measured because you have to treat everything, the ground, the Earth, as flat to achieve angles on it. So never has a globe ever proven the radius to exist. And obviously, once again, Black Swan. What is the infamous quote from the liar, crook, renegger that owes me £100?
At best, you would have disproved the radius of the Earth.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward. And to have that globe Earth, what do we need, Wally? What do we need?
But you're going to need half of that.
You're going to need half of that to prove anything to do with a globe. All right, let's continue. Never has a globe ever proven the Earth to rotate. Earth rotation. Yeah? Once again, let's hear from the High Priest, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I did a quick calculation, and I tweeted. The winning field goal in that game was aided by a 1/3 of an inch deflection to the right from Earth's rotation.
So, kicking a field goal, kicking a ball, that would invoke seeing Coriolis effect. The ball has been kicked. And Neil deGrasse Tyson just details there that the field goal was aided by 1/3 of an inch deflection due to the Earth turning underneath it. That is the standard here that is the globe rhetoric. That is the globe narrative. So anything that leaves the rotational reference frame of this globe, if it was rotating, you would expect to see it drift. What are we told now? Are we told that everything that leaves the rotational reference frame of the Earth into the inertial reference frame, are we told that we're going to see drift? No. Anti-flat earthers like Simon Dan says this.
Again.
You and your reference frames have been ruined.
You and your reference frames have been ruined because nothing that we see leaving the surface of the Earth, we do not see drift. I've done the demonstrations with my drone. We do not see any drift in anything leaving this Earth because we are not rotating. We do not see the Coriolis effect. Coriolis effect is 100% man-made effect. It is an apparent effect. It is not a naturally occurring effect. If it was naturally occurring, anything leaving the rotational reference frame, what globers call us being the rotational reference frame of the Earth, we're meant to be rotating. That's why I say never has a globe ever proven the rotation of the Earth? Never ever. Because you would see drift in everything, but the anti-flat earthers like Simon Dan like to give us examples of not seeing drift. He likes to say that those two reference frames,
Again.
You and your reference frames have been ruined.
not our reference frames. We don't require reference frames on flat Earth. We do not have two reference frames. But if you are claiming a rotating Earth, globe believers, like Neil deGrasse Tyson just was, he was claiming that the rotating Earth would be rotating under things like a football. So they will absolutely be rotating under things like a hot air balloon, like a drone, like any other ball, like chucking your kid up in the air. You would see a drift in those things at a tune to 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. What's that, about 17 miles per second? Do we see that in anything? No, everything. Just like the drone, it just hovers there. Like a hot air balloon, it can go freely in all directions. It doesn't go drift off to a different continent because it's left the ground. We never, ever, ever see that, and we never, ever will.
For some reason, you think that...
Another one from Blue Marble Science here. Let's hear what Blue Marble Science has to say about the rotation of the Earth.
For some reason, you think the Earth needs to turn underneath them.
I have speed that will overtake it.
Right.
Because I'm going sideways faster than it is.
The Earth is not rotating underneath.
What Kosho's now saying is there's slightly different speeds as the Earth rotates underneath, right, Kosho? It's just different.
That's
different
right, and
speeds.
as it travels across different spots of the Earth.
The Earth is not rotating underneath.
Right.
Yeah, this is pretty awkward for you Globers. What do you want to say? The Earth is not rotating underneath things? Or do you want to say, like Neil deGrasse Tyson mentioned, that the Earth is rotating underneath things? Who's lying here? You can get your stories straight, guys. Blue Marble Science, is the Earth rotating at all? No, it's not. We never see Coriolis in anything. So never has a globe ever proven the rotation of the Earth. What else we got? I like this one. One of my favorites. Never has a globe ever been able to achieve a straight line with the sextant. And this, for those playing at home, this is the image on the background of my logo. Shout out to Adam Meakin. He found this image. He spiced up my logo a little bit. Thank you, Adam Meakin. Really appreciate it. Never has a globe ever achieved a straight line with a sextant. Let's hear from Dr. Bob, shall we?
It's a tool that measures angles from straight lines.
Yeah.
Where'd you get a straight line for a sextant, considering you've got sphere-shaped hair?
I don't have one. I don't have one.
You don't have one? So where'd you get a straight line for a sextant on a globe?
I don't have one.
You don't have one? Where would you get a straight line, considering that there's always atmosphere for a sextant?
I don't have one.
So where'd you get a straight line for the sextant?
I don't have one.
You don't have one?
Correct.
It's a tool that measures angles from straight lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty devastating. Because if you are, after the Black Swan, yeah, we are now told by the globe believers that the horizon is now refracted, that we are not looking directly at the horizon. There's a bent, curvy bent line to the horizon. This is an article from, this is a study done on terrestrial refraction. Yeah, it is titled Monitoring the Refractive Coefficient. So in geodesy, the coefficient of refraction K presents a common way to quantify terrestrial refraction. Yeah, that is, it's going to quantify what terrestrial refraction is in a bit. It may be defined as the ratio of the radius of the Earth, R, you're going to need R for that, Globers, and the radius of the line of sight, i.e. the radius of a circular arc used in mathematical model, here we go, here's the kicker, to approximate a complex curved path of light. So how are you achieving the straight baseline that you need for a sextant? This line right here has to be absolutely straight from the sextant to the horizon. That is your straight baseline. Yeah? There's zero. How are you achieving that when it's meant to be bent? Yeah, it's curved. No, you absolutely need a straight line from the sextant to the horizon in order to get a vertex, to measure an angle to a celestial body. You do not have the straight line. You cannot use a sextant on your globe if you believe that that horizon is refracted. There is bendy light to the horizon. Terrestrial refraction, 7/6R. You're going to need R for that. And if you still think you have a refracted horizon, how are you achieving a straight line with the sextant? Celestial navigation and the sextant does not work on a globe Earth. So that's just detailing what an angle is. In geometry, an angle can be determined as the figure formed by two rays meeting at a common endpoint. The angle is represented here, two straight lines. Absolutely must have two straight lines for an angle. And that is why.
It's a tool that measures angles from straight lines.
And also, so for the area of equialtitude, this is how we determine the area of equialtitude. It's something I went over at the beginning of the show. So, this is the observer here, measuring a straight baseline to the horizon. And this is the celestial body, GP point, 90 degrees. You cannot achieve a 90-degree angle on a curved surface. On a spherical surface, it is not possible. You need that flat baseline. You've got a curved baseline, globe believers. The sextant does not work on a globe Earth. Celestial navigation does not work on a globe Earth. You need to have that GP point, the geographical position of that star, on a flat surface in order to achieve an angle, in order to achieve a right angle to the star. This is the area of equialtitude, absolutely flat. And use 3 of these, a minimum of 3 of these, to get a fix on your location at any given point. And this has been used for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. Absolutely flat. Yeah? And this is why this is the #1 flat Earth proof. All these circles are circles of equialtitude. They are all circles of absolute flatness. That is what is required when you are measuring angles to a star. You need to treat everything as flat and level. Flat baseline. Not a refracted horizon that we have a bendy light. Oh no. You need a flat, straight line from yourself to the horizon. That's the flat baseline. We know we're on a flat Earth. And by using the angles to the stars, we can determine, we can get all these areas of equal altitude. And we have done it before. It's been done. Measured the entire Earth. The entire Earth as flat and level with celestial navigation. All these areas of equialtitude are all areas of absolute flat Earth. Extremely devastating for the globe. Other than Dr. Bob, who we just determined he can't use a sextant because he can't achieve a straight line to the horizon. Other than him, has anyone else actually addressed the #1 flat Earth proof? You'd think that the globe believers would be all over it. You'd think that my comments section would be crawling with triggered fundy saying something about a sextant, something about the #1 flat Earth proof. Look at my channel, the video titled the #1 flat Earth proof, 10,000, maybe 11,000 views. Not one of those comments has debunked that this is the #1 flat Earth proof. It is so devastating to all globe believers, to all anti-flat earthers. Coriolis effect flat in the chat, crushing it, bro. Thanks, mate. Yeah, Sleeping Warrior, how are you, mate? Says Bob the fallacy guy has admitted something that he shouldn't have. Yep, it's coming back to bite him soon. Thanks, Bob. I'm assuming that's going to be the 69 miles per 1 degree, Sleeping Warrior. Very, very interesting. Who wants to double down on that? Anyone? Is that what we see in our reality, 69 miles per 1 degree measurement? Remember I was talking about this photo at the beginning of my presentation? The thing that I am admitting that I was wrong about, this is not Polaris. This is the southern apparent rotation in the sky. And what can we extrapolate out from that? What can we calculate from that using 69 miles per 1 degree from the GP point. This is at 8 degrees south. So each 69 miles is 1 degree. Are we going to double down on that, globe believers? So 82 degrees to Sigma Octantis in this photo, 5,658 miles to the GP of Sigma Octantis. And we know because we are measuring an angle to Sigma Octantis there, 82, it will be 8 degrees above the horizon, 8 degrees altitude, so we can conclude that we are 82 degrees from the GP point of that. How does that circle of equal altitude fit on a globe with a radius of 3959 miles? Yeah, you're going to need half of that. But it does not even fit on a globe of that dimensions. The radius of equal altitude, when looking at that photo, Sigma Octantis is 5,658 miles. Put that onto your globe. It is absolutely devastating. So what's more embarrassing here, globe believers? Me accidentally getting this wrong, not intentionally lying to people. I looked at the description in here and it said something about the North Star. It said something about Polaris. Yeah, I made a mistake, not Polaris. But it's absolutely devastating still to your religion, globe believers. How does that radius of equal altitude, 5,658 miles, fit onto a globe of 3959 mile radius? It does not fit. Devastating. Absolutely devastating to your globe. And to keep going with that, what is the circumference of that 5,658 mile radius of equal altitude? 35,500 miles radius. What is the radius of your presupposed spherical Earth? 24,900 miles. How does a radius, a circumference of 35,550 miles fit on to a globe of 24,900 miles? Doesn't work, globe believers. And yeah, it is an area of 101 million square miles absolutely flat, that area of equal altitude, when looking at this image that apparently is so devastating to me. Yeah, let's talk about that, globe believers. Let's put that in the chat. Anyway, what is it? 7:02. All right, time to wrap it up. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the super chats. Yeah, thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. If you want to support me, there is a new way. I'm on ROKFIN now. It does not censor my content. I've got a really good video over there, first really good video that gives you a way to legally refuse the vaccine to your employer. Head over there. If you don't want the vaccine, please watch that video first. If you sign up to ROKFIN, you not only get all of my content, I'm going to be putting all the Flat Earth School content up there, and all the content that is censored by YouTube, I'm going to be putting up there. Not only do you get my content, you get everyone's content on ROKFIN. Pretty sure Jaronism's on there, Karen B, I think Mark Sargent, a lot of people on there, and it's not just us. Salvatore Popadilio, I'm sorry for pronouncing that, your surname incorrectly, gives me $5. Thank you, Salvatore. I really, really appreciate it. If you guys don't want to super chat on YouTube or sign up to Patron, there is a new way to support me, ROKFIN. Yeah, and it's you don't only get my content, you get everybody's content, and you get uncensored content. Things that YouTube have given me a strike for are now going to be up on my ROKFIN account. So please head over there, ROKFIN /Mitchell from Australia. The link is in the description from yesterday's video. I'm going to have to put it in this description. I will put it in the description of this video. But until next time, if you feel like the world turns on you, turn to Flat Earth School. It is around us 24/7 since the beginning of existence. I'm a student, just like the rest of us, learning about this beautiful Flat Earth School day after day, coming out here giving these beautiful, beautiful images of our beautiful Flat Earth School. It is absolutely flat. It is observably flat. It is obviously flat. It is navigationally flat using the sextant. It is measurably flat using the sextant. We are definitely contained enclosed and stationary. Until next time, guys, keep it flat. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for support. Smash the super chat. Sign up to Patron. Sign up to ROKFIN. I really appreciate the support. See you guys.